They call it Raven's Hollow, a speck of rock and forest adrift in the South Pacific, not marked on modern maps and absent from satellite views. But it's there. Ask the fishermen who know the tides too well. Ask the sailors who speak of it in hushed voices at remote ports. It sits just beyond the edge of Arizona, small, forgotten island that only appears when the sea wants it to. And when it does, people die. The stories go back nearly 200 years. Raven's Hollow was never a place built for the living. It was where the British sent their worst: mutineers, murderers, and madmen. Convicts deemed too savage, even for the penal colonies of Australia, were quietly shipped to this place. No records, no trials, just shackled hands, stitched mouths, and silence. The colonief, you can call it, that lasted less than a decade. They say the men went feral, that the guards were killed, that something ancient on the island twisted them. By the time a resupply ship returned, there was no one left. No buildings, no bones, only the trees, and the screaming that came from them. The island was abandoned, or so they claimed. The first modern tragedy happened in 1974. A pleasure yacht called the Windward Queen vanished during a squall. 12 people aboard. A week later, the Coast Guard received a distress call from a man named Lawrence Avery, the ship's captain. He was found floating in a lifeboat, dehydrated and sunburnt. He spoke in riddles. The trees moved. She called my name in their voices. They bled from the sky. And finally, the sea brought us there. But she won't let us leave. He died 2 days later. Massive internal bleeding, but no wounds. His eyes were missing. No one knows how. In 1989, a cargo ship named Marigold was rerouted through a storm. Satellite tracking showed the vessel vanishing off radar for 6 hours. When it reappeared, it was empty. The bridge intact, the engines idle, meals half-eaten. The only clue was a recording in the ship's log. Lights in the trees. Sound like children. Can't wake up. Then static. Some say Raven's Hollow isn't always there. That the sea swallows it, regurgitates it, like it's not an island, but a wound. And when the storm gods are angry, they open it. Let the lost things crawl out. A YouTuber named Kyle Harper tried to find it in 2015. He and 2 friends rented a fishing trawler and chased storms off the southern Tasmanian coast. They live-streamed it. Clouds rolled in. Compass spun. GPS died. Then came the fog. Dense, brown-green, like old seawater. They saw the island minutes later. Rocky cliffs, dead trees, a black sand beach. Something like a lighthouse blinked once in the distance. Then again, then nothing. They landed, walked inland. The last thing Kyle posted was a 7-second video. Static, then whispering, then something crawling behind the trees. His last words, "I think it's watching us." Their boat washed ashore empty 10 days later. Kyle was never found. His 2 friends? They made it to a hospital in Hobart. One died coughing up seawater, lungs full of it. The other gouged out his own tongue with a plastic fork and wrote a message in his blood. Don't dream about her. People who've tried to investigate the island never agree on what they saw. Some say it's the land itself that's haunted. Others claim the convicts never died, that they became something else, that the hunger of the island changed them, twisted their bones, rewrote their minds. Now they wait, skins sewn with coral and barnacles, beneath the trees, calling out in familiar voices. Mother, Captain, come home. In 2020, a team of scientists attempted to photograph the island from a helicopter. The camera lenses shattered mid-flight. One man, an experienced pilot, screamed as if on fire. He claimed the sea was climbing into the sky. They landed safely, barely, and quit the project. Survivors what few exist speak of: bleeding sand, dead gulls that blink, waves that hum lullabies in a woman's voice, the ruins of old shacks half buried in moss, the old lighthouse still flickering on some nights with no one inside, a church made of driftwood and bone, and always the eyes in the trees, some large, some small, none blinking. They speak of walking in circles, only to return to the same grove where a noose swings from a tree. They describe hunger not their own, but something else's, an invisible weight pressing on their chest as they sleep, hands that reach from shallow puddles, an altar in a cave carved with thousands of names, and one single scorched phrase: she waits. They say Raven's Hollow was never meant for maps, that it was built to trap the things that live outside the edges, and when it calls, it uses storms. It uses longing. And if you hear it whisper in your dreams, waves and wind and weeping, it's already too late. You'll seek it, you'll find it, and you'll never leave. Because the island doesn't want to be known. It wants to be obeyed. And when it takes you, it takes everything, even your name, even your soul. If you try to chart it, your pen snaps. If you try to speak of it, your throat closes. And those who escape, their minds unravel, one word repeated in their sleep: Ravenna, the name of the woman said to have ruled the original colony. She was a convict queen, beautiful, brilliant, and merciless. When the guards tried to stop her, she burned them alive in their barracks. They say she made a pact with something in the ocean, something older than man. In exchange for power, she gave up her people, one by one. Now she lives in the soil, in the sea, in the mouths of those who vanish. And when you dream of drowning, it's her arms that pull you under. The last survivor to reach the mainland did so in 2022. He was a sailor who swam 3 days. He washed up on King Island with barnacles growing from his skin and seaweed knotted in his throat. He died shortly after. But the coroner? She vanished. So did the body. So did the footage. All that remained was the man's journal. A single page soaked in salt. A child's drawing. A boat. A woman. An island made of teeth. And beneath it, one final line: tell her story, and she will come.
There's a shadow in the hallway and a voice beneath the floor. I lock the doors, I hold my breath, but it's closer than before. A cold wind in the mirror, footsteps on the stairs. I feel it watching silently, but nothing's ever there. Past her whispers in